The Las Vegas Raiders have officially kicked off mandatory minicamp, and there's no shortage of buzz surrounding what's unfolding in Henderson. From strong early performances to key player absences, the storylines are already stacking up. And make no mistake, this team has real potential. On paper, the Raiders have the pieces: a top-tier running back, a dynamic tight end, talented young receivers, including one rookie who's already turning heads. And all of it could come together under the leadership of Geno Smith, a quarterback many now rank among the league's top 10 or 12. The excitement is building, and there's a quiet confidence in the air that this year could be different. Let's start with a major positive. No holdouts, not a single contract dispute. No drama, no distractions. Everyone's in, everyone's bought in. That unity, that matters. Now, there is one big question mark: Christian Wilkins. The star defensive tackle hasn't taken the field, reportedly due to a foot injury. From what's being said, he hasn't even been spotted in the building. That could mean he's rehabbing privately or simply staying out of sight during recovery. Either way, the Raiders are proceeding cautiously. There's no panic yet, just hope that he's back at full strength before training camp. On the other hand, there's encouraging news about Adam Butler. The veteran defensive tackle, coming off a career year, is back on the field. After missing the last 2 open practices, he returned in great shape, leaner, quicker, and fully engaged. He's moving like a man with something to prove, and he just might be one of the most underrated interior pass rushers in the league. Last season, Butler was more than reliable. He was dominant, and judging by his off-season work, he's aiming even higher in 2025. Let's talk trenches now, specifically the offensive line. A few clips have surfaced from recent drills, giving us a peek at how the big men up front are developing. One clip shows a textbook reach block, a key piece of what looks like an inside zone concept. The offensive lineman, wearing number 65, engages a defender aligned on his outside shoulder and seals him off, keeping his hips pointed inside. That's the kind of clean, controlled technique that opens running lanes in the NFL. Another rep features number 78, likely Don Wagner, going through a similar drill. The alignment flips, the responsibilities shift, but the fundamentals remain strong. The linemen are showing agility, awareness, and communication, all signs of a unit that's starting to gel. There's even a glimpse of rookie running back Ashton Genty in the backfield during some of these reps. He's quick, decisive, and looks like he's picking up the blocking schemes fast. An encouraging sign for someone trying to carve out a role early. The energy at camp is real. The competition is fierce, and for the first time in a while, the foundation feels stable. If the Raiders can stay healthy and keep stacking days like this, they just might surprise some people this fall. Let's take a deeper look at what's happening up front, where games are won and lost. Offensive line play often goes unnoticed, but when it's done right, it sets the tone for everything. One rep shows Dalton Wagner executing a perfect seal block, pushing his man inward. That's the beauty of zone blocking. It doesn't demand perfection, it demands understanding. If a defender wants to live in the outside gap, the lineman doesn't have to chase him. He just lets him stay there and keeps driving him further out. That opens up cutback lanes, and the running back simply reads the leverage. If the edge is clogged, the inside becomes daylight. If the defender crashes down, it opens up the edge. It's a chess match played at full speed, and Wagner is playing it well. When Wagner manages to hook his man inside, it forces defenders to adjust on the fly. That's especially important on outside zone runs, where timing, footwork, and leverage can create explosive plays. We also saw Jackson Powers-Johnson, the promising rookie center, working a textbook reach block. The defender slants across his face, but Powers-Johnson stays composed, angles off perfectly, and wins the rep. It's the kind of fundamental play that may look basic, but for a rookie, that's a big-time sign of polish and awareness. Then there's Caleb Rogers, and this is where things get interesting. Rogers is lining up at right guard, right hand in the dirt, clear as day. That's notable because the left guard spot has become a position battle between Dylan Parham and Jordan Meredith. Parham, who played right guard last year, has shifted over, and Alex Kappa, he's locked in on the right side, but now Rogers is stepping in at right guard during drills. Reports suggest he's even taken first-team reps, a sign the coaching staff is evaluating him seriously. On one snap, he shows solid coordination with Powers-Johnson, working together to control their gaps under the watchful eye of a coach directing defenders to stay in or cross face. It's a tightly run drill. Everyone's moving with purpose. And Rodgers, he's holding his ground. Ashton Jeanty, the rookie running back, also got some reps in pass protection, and he's showing signs of real potential. In one drill, he steps up aggressively and punches the bags with proper hand placement and balance. It's just a drill, yes, but it tells a story. Jeanty isn't just a runner. He's putting in the work to be a complete back, someone who can stay on the field for all 3 downs. Blocking matters, and his technique, effort, and physicality all point to a player who's ready to contribute. There's also a quick glimpse of Jack Beck, though the focus in this section has been trench play and Jeanty's development. Bottom line, these early reps may look routine, but they're foundational. The offensive line is beginning to settle, roles are becoming clearer, and the rookies are stepping up. This is where trust is built. This is where execution begins. Let's shift focus to the wide receivers. And right now, all eyes are on Dante Thornton. The rookie out of Oregon has been consistently making noise. He flashed during rookie minicamp. He showed out during OTAs. And now, in mandatory minicamp, with the full roster on the field, he's doing it again. In a red zone drill, Geno Smith rifled a touchdown pass to Thornton in tight coverage. That's not just a representative, that's a message. Thornton isn't just surviving out there, he's winning. He's beating veterans. He's getting first-team reps, and he's producing. Ryan McFadden of ESPN confirmed it. Thornton is running with the ones. He's becoming a fixture in the starting offense. That alone says something. For a rookie to get those reps this early, it speaks to trust, readiness, and upside. And it's not just the touchdown. It's the repetition, the consistency. Thornton is tall, long, and fluid. His frame gives defensive backs problems. And in the red zone, where spacing tightens and windows shrink, that size becomes a weapon. Compare that to Jack Beck, another rookie wideout. Beck is making plays too. We've seen him running clean routes and catching passes. But Beck is working primarily with the second team. That's not a knock. It's early, but Thornton is further ahead in the rotation, and that matters. Beck caught a touchdown from Aiden O'Connell in 7-on-7s, but Thornton is building chemistry with Geno Smith, in full team periods, in tight coverage, with the first-team offense. That's a different level of opportunity. It's too early to make declarations. Pads aren't on. The real battles come in August. But what we're seeing now? It's momentum, and it's hard to ignore. If Thornton continues this upward trend, and if his traits translate, the Raiders might have landed a true gem. Maybe not a Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson, but what if he's close? What if he becomes a top 20 wideout in the next couple of years? That's not exaggeration. That's potential. And Thornton is starting to show it. The buzz around Dante Thornton continues to build, and at this point, it's impossible to ignore. Another red zone touchdown, another rep with first-team defenders draped on him. Levi Edwards reported the play. Geno Smith dropped back, read the coverage, and fired a strike to Thornton in traffic. 2 defensive backs were in position. Neither could stop it. Perfect placement, strong hands, 6 points. It's the same play other reporters mentioned, but the repetition is meaningful. Thornton isn't just flashing. He's stacking good days. Consistently. That's how rookies earn jobs. It's easy to draw comparisons. If Thornton turns into anything close to Puka Nacua, a high-impact rookie who defied expectations, the Raiders will have hit a home run, and there's nothing saying he can't. The tape at Tennessee showed the raw tools. He averaged nearly 30 yards per catch. Explosive, vertical, dangerous. Sure, he didn't run a full route tree, but that's about scheme, not talent. Route trees can be expanded. Traits like size, speed, and separation are harder to teach, and Thornton has those in spades. The optimism isn't about potential anymore, it's about performance. The Raiders coaching staff is trusting him with first-team snaps. He's delivering. If Jack Beck develops too, and there's every reason to think he will, the Raiders might have found 2 receivers who can contribute early and stay in the picture long-term. For now, Thornton stands out. He's been arguably the most impressive rookie of the offseason, and it's not just one voice saying it, it's multiple. That carries weight. While the rookies turn heads, one veteran made his intentions crystal clear. Colton Miller wants to be a Raider for life. The left tackle, one of the longest-tenured players on the roster, spoke to the media and didn't mince words. He doesn't want to leave. He wants to finish what he started in Las Vegas. For a player at his position, that's rare, and it's valuable. Because Colton Miller has become one of the most reliable left tackles in the league. And he did it the hard way, from early struggles and fan criticism to Pro Bowl caliber play. In his first 2 seasons, many wrote him off. Too raw, too inconsistent. But the Raiders stuck with him, and he rewarded them. Miller steadily developed into a top 10 tackle, and when contract time came around, he didn't push for top market value. In fact, he's not even among the 15 highest paid tackles, a steal considering his performance level. With 1 year left on his deal, it's time for the Raiders to act. A 3-year extension, tacked onto the remaining year, makes sense for both sides. Miller's elite enough to anchor the line and durable enough to trust, and that matters even more now, because Geno Smith will need protection. When Geno had a strong line in Seattle, he played like a top-tier quarterback. When that line broke down, especially last season, so did his performance. It's not a coincidence. The Raiders' path to stability on offense runs straight through Colton Miller. Keeping him happy, extended, and healthy should be a priority. The message is simple. Lock in Colton Miller. It's not just about rewarding a veteran. It's about building a stable foundation. Geno Smith needs a clean pocket to succeed, and there's no better way to secure that than by keeping one of the league's most reliable left tackles in silver and black. Yes, the Raiders drafted Charles Grant. Yes, they brought in DJ Glaze. But development takes time, and there are no guarantees, especially at offensive tackle. For every promising rookie, there's a case like Thayer Munford, who was handed the starting role only to fall short when it mattered. That's why it's critical to anchor one side of the line with a proven commodity. Miller is that guy, a top 15 tackle with years of chemistry on this unit. He should be extended, plain and simple. If you're trying to maximize the window with a veteran quarterback, solidifying your protection is priority one. One of the most revealing updates came from Jacorian Bennett, who shared that he played much of last season with a torn labrum, an injury he carried since college. Ultimately, the pain forced him into season-ending surgery. He admitted to popping his shoulder back into place 5 or 6 times during games. That's the kind of damage that limits everything: press coverage, tackling, even basic hand usage at the line. For a cornerback, it's debilitating. But the good news is that surgery is done. Recovery is underway, and there's reason to believe Bennett could bounce back strong, just like Colton Miller did after his own shoulder surgery. Miller struggled early but finished the year at full strength. Anchoring the left side of the line, Bennett could follow a similar arc. Right now, he's running with the second-team unit, but if he regains full health by camp, there's no reason he can't fight his way back into the starting lineup and potentially emerge as a Pro Bowl caliber defender in this secondary. Another piece to watch closely: Jeremy Chinn. The early reports from Raiders camp paint a clear picture. Chinn is being used everywhere. He's playing split safety, then rotating into the box. He's lining up as a slot corner, then blitzing off the edge. On some plays, he's even functioning as a stand-up rusher on the weak side. According to Jesse Merrick and others on site, Chinn is moving all over the formation, and that versatility is exactly what Patrick Graham wants in his defensive scheme. It mirrors what Chinn was doing last year under Dan Quinn in Washington. Matchups, misdirection, chaos. One snap, he's over the tight end. The next, he's coming off the edge. That kind of flexibility gives the Raiders options, and it gives opposing offenses problems. The defense needed a chess piece, and now it looks like they found one in Jeremy Chinn. When the Raiders signed Jeremy Chinn, it wasn't just about adding talent. It was about adding the right piece for a defensive scheme in transition. Chinn thrived in Dan Quinn's defense in Washington last year, a defense built heavily around the cover 3 principles Quinn learned under PeteCarroll during their time together in Seattle. And now, with Carroll at the top and Patrick Graham still coordinating the defense, the Raiders have the chance to blend 2 distinct philosophies into one hybrid system. That's where Chinn fits. He's more than a safety, he's a chess piece. In Washington, he lined up as a deep safety, a box defender, a slot corner, and even as a weak side edge. That versatility is going to be critical in this new-look Raiders defense. 2 years ago, there was cautious optimism that the Raiders defense could turn a corner. In 2023, that belief became reality. Despite instability on offense and a midseason coaching change, the Raiders finished as the 9th best defense in the league over the full year, and number 1 overall from the moment Antonio Pierce took over. That's no fluke. Much of that success came from the core: Max Crosby, Malcolm Kuntz, and Adam Butler. All 3 returned in 2024. The secondary and linebackers have changed, but the identity remains intact. The scheme might evolve, the personnel may shift, but the backbone of this defense is still here. Chin, Jacorian Bennett, and others will be asked to step into this evolving structure. The pieces are there, the coaching is stable, and the expectation now is growth. The Raiders' defense isn't chasing respect anymore. They earned it last year. And with another year of continuity, there's no reason they can't take the next step. This isn't a one-year rebuild. It's a long-term foundation. And with the mix of returning leaders and new versatile additions, this unit may soon carry the Raiders to something they haven't seen in a while: playoff wins.